All right, perfect. Alrighty, so walking into business school, I felt really out of place. After college, I worked in the nonprofit sector, and my biggest exposure to business was Celebrity Apprentice. So you can imagine my shock walking across classes and networking events and recruiting events, and seeing all these people who I'd only see on TV, right? Like women in pantsuits, like explaining finance models, and guys in blazers schmoozing with recruiters while downing a martini, talking about market trends. And the more I saw them, the more I started to think, I want to be like that. There are these smart and sexy and rich classmates that I never had exposure in my old world. Because in my old job, it was all about donating food to the community. I would dress up as Santa for kids around Christmas, the first Muslim Santa for them, and I would work in this very Parks and Rec kind of office. I never thought of myself desiring this other kind of lifestyle, and I didn't think I could do it because when I applied to my MBA, I had said on my application, I want to get my business degree to transform the nonprofit sector and like come back home to the nonprofit. But I'm gonna have to shift away from that because I really wanted to get the taste of this, what I thought would be a luxurious life. And coupled with that, I had the voice of my South Asian mother running through my head, which was, I didn't immigrate to this country for you to not profit. And so with those two things in mind, I just thought, now's my chance. I'm swimming in student loans. I'm gonna go and recruit for the biggest, sexiest, most lucrative job right now that's offered in business school, which was consulting. So I had to start with the biggest consulting firm, like the popular girl of consulting, like the Regina Georgia Consulting, which was McKinsey, right? It's kind of a mean girl name anyway. So McKinsey and Company, the first thing you had to do is go through the recruiting event to get the interview. So for the recruiting event, I was in this restaurant that they had completely bought out. There's 4 partners and 4 sides of the restaurant. And your objective is to break into networking circles, make an impression on these partners, and have all 4 of them like you by the end of the night. And throughout that evening, I was walking through the restaurant like I was on a safari. I was checking out my classmates, trying to mimic their poise, trying to mimic their posture, their laugh, what they were talking about. And I finally got the confidence to approach a partner, and I was breaking to this networking circle. And before I could introduce myself, I just get this elbow to my rib. I thought I got shanked. Turned out my classmate was boxing me out of the networking circle to bring himself forward. And I just thought, I'm disengaged. I'm not doing this. I'm not gonna play defensive tackle to brown-nosed a millionaire, right? And so I was out of the McKinsey circle at that point, but eventually I did get an offer from a more relaxed consulting firm, and I started my internship. And at first, life was good. I went to the airport, and instead of getting randomly selected for additional security screening and pat down, I breezed right through security because the company had cleared me and purchased TSA pre-check. And when I got on board, I was upgraded to first class, and when we landed, I got my choice of modern Japanese sedans, which was better than my 2000 Ford Explorer where I duct taped the bumper. And so I was just living this luxurious life at work. I was hitting it off with everybody. Like, I was in the coffee line with my coworkers who were really smart and sexy and rich, and we're talking about stocks. And then after work or during meetings, I would get included on inside jokes, counting how many times the partner would say synergy in client meetings. And then after work, it was the best of this lifestyle desired, which was per diem. Most nights I would go back to the hotel completely anesthetized, and I would just order room service on this massive per diem. I would get this 7-course meal because I could. So I would get, like a Caesar salad, bruschetta, salmon, macaroni cheese, Brussels sprouts, and for dessert, I would get cheesecake, ice cream, a bowl of strawberries, and to drink, I would get Diet Coke, Pinot Grigio, and a bottle of Perrier. And I just thought life, like I had the entire Cheesecake Factory menu on my bed every night for 60 nights. I thought life was good. And then halfway through the internship, things started to take a turn. And it started to dawn on me. The per diem and the big paychecks were not really making up for the things that were giving me dread. And the reality was, I was waking up in DC and flying out to the middle of nowhere, Ohio. I would go to work at 7:30 for a briefing with my manager to tell me what I needed to do throughout the day. We would work through lunch. At 6:30, we'd have another briefing saying what needed to be prepared for the next morning at 7:30. I'd go back home, Cheesecake Factory, wake up, repeat it again. 60 nights later, I started to think, I really want this lifestyle, and my managers are great, and the companies are great, but I'm just different from them. I couldn't do this. And the dread started to set in that this could be my life, post-MBA in the real world, every single day, every single week. Flight, synergy, salmon, flight, synergy, salmon. And I just don't think I can do it. And so coming back to business school that fall for my second year, the badge of honor you can get is coming back with an offer, which means you can breeze through your second year, you don't have to re-recruit, and you can focus on building relationships and having a social scene while you're in B school. And so, walking into the first day of second year, everyone's in the lobby running in. I got an offer from Google, I got an offer from Bain, I got an offer from Goldman. And all these finance consulting bros and gals who I've grown to love approached me, and they're like, Yousaf, what happened? And I told them, I got an offer too, but I turned it down. At first, the look was shock, and then the look was horror that I would be flying coach for the rest of my life. And then the look was admiration, because I think what they knew in the moment that I would find out days and weeks later and today was that although I really wanted to walk into this lifestyle and kind of mimic and mirror everything my smart, sexy, and rich business school classmates were doing, it wasn't authentic to me. And that really, through the process of that, I started to understand what I really wanted for myself, that success in the good life is really dependent on what matters to you and who you uniquely are as a person. And although I tried to do something else, through the experience, I realized it wasn't for me and I wasn't for it. So although I didn't become my smart, sexy, and rich classmates, what I did become was something better, which is a more honest, happy, and content version of myself. Thank you.